The best on-screen insults often take a permanent place in popular culture. These are some of the classics. Grab a pen and take notes. You may want to borrow one of these lethal zingers in the future. The Princess Bride is packed with quotable quotes, many of which have become cultural staples.
Hello. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
It says it all, but it's not an insult. Those are mostly directed at Prince Humperdinck. The film builds to his climactic downfall, but it doesn't play out as expected. He doesn't die at the end, but his romantic rival does kill.
To the death!
No! To the pain.
No surprise, Humperdinck doesn't get it.
I'll explain, and I'll use small words that you'll be sure to understand, you warthog-faced buffoon.
Humperdinck is cut to the quick, thrown completely off guard, and basically incensed. He's also an idiot. Stanley Kubrick hired Ali Ermey, a legit Vietnam War-era drill instructor, to play Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in Full Metal Jacket. Hartman's rants and insults in the film are taken directly from Ermey's experience in the Marine Corps, and Kubrick incorporated everything Ermey told him into the script. The film opens with several minutes of Hartman dissecting his new recruits, like a coroner performing an autopsy. The insults are both brutal and surgical, each one perfectly worded and delivered.
You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian
That said, two exchanges are genuinely iconic. The first comes when he addresses Private Cowboy, asking,
How tall are you, Private?
Sir, 5'9", sir!
5'9". I didn't know they stacked that high.
It's quick and funny, but it pales in comparison to his best insult, which he delivers to the private he calls Gomer Pyle. Upon seeing him, he asks,
Did your parents have any children that lived?
Sir, yes, sir!
I bet they regret that. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
There's a good chance you've seen a clip of the best insult in Billy Madison, even if you've never seen the film. It's been memed all over the internet, and is one of the best retorts to an incredibly idiotic statement a character has ever made. In the film, Billy is a childish 27-year-old heir to a massive fortune. His father will only turn over his hotel company if Billy repeats all 12 grades of school by spending 2 weeks in each. The rich can set anything up, so Billy heads back to school. As he's nearing graduation, he challenges Eric, who would inherit the company should Billy fail, to a winner-takes-all academic decathlon. It doesn't bode well when Billy gives a moronic answer to the opening question.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Most comedies, including Animal House, are products of their time with cultural expiration dates, but Animal House never gets old. The cast is brilliant, the direction stellar, and perhaps most important, the script is tight and funny without being dated. The members of Delta House and their pledges are the source of mayhem on campus, and the dean has had enough. Toward the end of the film, the dean drops a bomb on Flounder.
Fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son.
The Silence of the Lambs follows Clarice Starling, an FBI trainee assigned to find and stop a serial killer named Buffalo Bill, with the assistance of psychiatrist, cannibal, serial killer Dr. Hannibal Lecter. It's spooky the way Lecter sees through people, and Starling is no exception. When they first meet, he delivers a withering monologue that metaphorically slices her down the middle and puts her insides on display.
You know what you look like to me with your good bag and your cheap shoes? You look like a rube, but you're not more than one generation from poor wire trash. Are you, Agent Starling?
Erin Brockovich tells the true story of the activist journey from near bankruptcy to becoming a voice for the people. Brockovich is all rough edges and doesn't hesitate to speak truth to power when necessary. What she isn't is a lawyer, so when a corporate attorney dares to condescend to her, it doesn't go well.
Okay, look, I think we got off on the wrong foot here.
That's all you got, lady. 2 wrong feet and f***ing ugly shoes.
The Hangover is one of those perfectly strung together comedies that manages to up the ante with each scene, building to an epic finish, and it features exceptional insults, 2 of which must be included in any list of the greatest movie disses. The first comes from Ed Helms' Stu, who asks Zach Galifianakis' Alan how a tiger wound up in their bathroom.
It's one of the side effects of Rufus' memory loss.
You were literally too stupid to insult.
That really stings, but great movie insults don't have to be funny. They can be so true that they stab the receiver in the heart. Take, for example, Stu's abusive girlfriend, Melissa, who just won't let up.
You're such a bad person. Like, all the way through to your core.
Roxanne is a modern retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac, with Steve Martin as C.D. Bales, the man with the enormous nose. After a lifetime of teasing, C.D. has found a way of coping by being the first and best to call out his problematic proboscis. For instance, when a dude calls him Big Nose, C.D. scoffs at his lack of imagination and bets he can out-insult him, launching a barrage of self-deprecation. And while they're all pretty good, these 3 rule.
Fashionable. You know, you could de-emphasize your nose if you wore something larger, like Wyoming. Humorous. Laugh and the world laughs with you. Sneeze and it's goodbye Seattle. Polite. Would you mind not bobbing your head? The orchestra keeps changing tempo.
In Crazy Rich Asians, Crazy Rich Astrid learns that her husband Michael has been cheating on her and confronts him about it. Michael blames his infidelity on the fact that he comes from humble beginnings where his wife was born wealthy. But Astrid sees him for the coward he is and comes to a visceral and liberating realization.
It's not my job to make you feel like a man. I can't make you something you're not.
While we're on the topic of heckling, let's talk about Eddie Murphy's 1996 remake of The Nutty Professor. In the film, Murphy's character Sherman Klump is obese until he develops a weight loss formula, drops 250 pounds, and sprouts a smooth, lady-killing alternate personality who calls himself Buddy Love. He takes a date to a comedy club to see put-down comedian Reggie Jackson, played by Dave Chappelle.
Oh boy, you got more crack than Harlem, look at that!
But in an act of pure revenge, Buddy returns to flip the table, tossing insults like ninja throwing stars from the audience.
Hey man, what's wrong with that breath? I can smell it over here. Reggie, your breath is so stink, people look forward to your farts.
The Long Kiss Goodnight follows Gina Davis as Samantha Kane, an amnesiac teacher on a quest to recover her identity. To this end, she hires private detective Mitch Hennessy, played by Samuel L. Jackson. Over the course of the film, Kane discovers that she's a highly skilled government assassin, and her handlers want her back. This happens as she and Hennessy kick some serious ass, sometimes each other's.
You're always this stupid, or did you take lessons?
I took lessons.
Though Gone with the Wind has deservedly a controversial legacy, some of the dialogue is exceptional. Set against the backdrop of the Civil War, the film is about a love triangle, at least in the mind of Scarlett O'Hara. She tortures herself over her unrequited love for Ashley Wilkes while toying with her true love, Rhett Butler. When she finally realizes she's loved Rhett all along, it's far too late.
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
The Marx Brothers' Duck Soup is a pre-code comedy masterpiece that still holds up today, and at the center of the story is Groucho, firing insults willy-nilly at his brothers. In character, of course. Groucho, as Rufus T. Firefly, has just been made president of the nation of Fredonia, which has been infiltrated by two spies, Pinky and Ciccolini, and are on trial for espionage, with Groucho as prosecutor.
Gentlemen, Ciccolini here may talk like an idiot and look like an idiot, but don't let that fool you. He really is an idiot.
What's the best movie ever made? Depends on who you ask, but two films sit at the top of nearly every list: Citizen Kane and Casablanca. Casablanca isn't just a near-perfect film, it also features some of the greatest dialogue in movie history.
That plane leaves the ground and you're not with him, you'll regret it. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life.
They don't write movies like that anymore. One of the film's central plot threads hinges on the acquisition of letters of transit, used to move freely through German-occupied territory. We learn in the opening scenes that couriers carrying those letters met an untimely end. Peter Lorre's character now has them, and Bogart needs them.
You despise me, don't you? Well, if I gave you any thought, I probably would.
These days, cursing is commonplace, but back in the 1930s and 40s, writers had to get creative, making for some immortal movie insults. Take The Women, for example. The film was written by women and featured more than 130 speaking roles, all played by women. In other words, the shade was gonna fly. Every insult is pure gold, but Joan Crawford as homewrecker Crystal Allen has the honor of delivering the best dig in the movie.
And by the way, there's a name for you ladies, but it isn't used in high society, outside of a kennel.